Hello, I'm so glad that you can join us because today I have a very special friend who has come to be with us. Do you see her anywhere? No, it is not the very mean ringmaster. Do you see anybody else here? Yes, it is sparkly, snobby Pear, with her nose in the air, her hands on her hips, and you might have already heard her go. You're probably wondering, why is she so snobby? Well, there's a very interesting story, and it started long ago when she lived in the Queen's garden. Do you see the Queen anywhere? Yes, there she is, right beside the King. Well, the Queen was a very kind, generous lady, and she made sure that she took care of all of the fruit trees in her garden, as well as all the people in her village. She had a great heart. She took very special care of the pears, because when the pears were young, they were always so sweet, kind, and gentle, and always had amazing manners. They always remembered to say please and thank you, and she loved that. Henry, the gardener, also really liked that. There he is. He took care of all of the fruit trees, of course, but he spent a little bit more time with the pears. He enjoyed when they said please and thank you. It made him smile. And when he would prune their trees, trim them, and give them extra fertilizer to help them grow, they would always say, "Thank you, Henry. Thank you so much." And he loved that. Well, they were great until they got a little bit older. And I think it was because people came to visit the Queen, and every time they did, they walked right over to the beautiful, sparkly pear tree. And they would always say, "Oh, wow, how beautiful those pears are. Those pears are amazing. They're incredible. They're the nicest pears I've ever seen." And the pears, instead of saying thank you, they started going, as if they were saying, "Of course we're beautiful. We know that because we hear it every day." Well, that was not what Henry and the Queen liked to hear. And Henry, the gardener, said to the pears, "Pears, you are losing your manners. That is not the pears that I know, the pears that are always so thoughtful and always say please and thank you. If you don't start using your manners, I am going to have to go and look after another fruit tree." And the pears, instead of saying, "Okay, Henry, we're so sorry, we forgot our manners. I don't know what happened." Instead of saying that, they said, "Whatever." Well, Henry was not very happy. He was very sad, in fact. But he knew that he had to teach them a lesson. He had to go away for a while and take care of other trees that would appreciate all of his help. And the snobby pears, instead of saying, "Henry, please don't go. We're sorry." Instead, they went, and Henry walked away very sad. Well, the pears were okay for a few days, until one day a little boy knocked on the Queen's gate. And the Queen opened up the gate, and the little boy looked up at her and he said, "Oh, kind Queen, do you happen to have any spare fruit that my family could have? We're running low." And the Queen said, "Of course you could have some of my spare fruit. I've got all types of fruit trees here. Please take a basket and go and help yourself to some fruit for your family and friends." Well, the little boy was so happy. He walked into the Queen's garden and he couldn't believe the amazing trees. And as he was walking towards the cherry trees, because they looked so nice and bright and red, he saw out of the corner of his eye a sparkle. And he looked and he went, "Oh, the pears, they're so beautiful." And he started walking towards them. Well, when the pears saw the little boy coming towards them with his basket, they got very scared and they started to cry out for Henry, who was way across the garden helping the cherry trees. And they were going, "Henry, Henry, please help me." But of course they were using their pear language, which sounded like this. And the little boy that was coming closer and closer thought, "Wow, not only are those pears beautiful, but they are talented. I have never seen singing pears before." And he listened again, and they kept on singing. And as he got closer and got ready to pick them and put them in his basket, do you have a basket? Grab one. When the little boy got closer and started to pick pears and put them in his basket, the pears kept on saying, "Oh no, Henry, Henry, where are you?" And the little boy took them all and smiled, thanked the Queen, and was off. And the little pears kept on crying out for Henry, but nobody could hear them because Henry was so far away, and the Queen was busy helping other trees. Well, the pears cried all the way to the market. "Oh no!" And the little boy just thought they were singing, and he walked to the market. He met with the market lady and said, "Market lady, look at what I have. I have got these amazing, talented singing pears. Do you think that perhaps you could give me some food for the pears or some money so that I could buy some other things that my family needs?" And the market lady looked at the pears, who were so beautiful, and they were singing, and said, "Oh, of course, please go over there and place them in the bin." So the little boy walked over to the regular, ordinary bin of pears, and he dumped them in. Oh no! It was tragic. The pears fell into the bin. They bent their stems, their leaves. They got bruises on their bodies. They were not happy, and they plunked down to the ground. Unbelievable. Well, what do you think happened? Do you think the pears just gave up? Would you give up? Of course you wouldn't. No way. Instead, the pears got into a little pear huddle, and they thought, "We better plan what we could do to escape." And they went, "Psst, psst, what can we do? I don't know. What do you think? Maybe we use some of our talents." And all night long they planned on how they could possibly escape. And they had some great ideas, just like I know you would have some great ideas. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yes, you got it. The pears decided to use their singing talent to attract the customers, and they decided that in the morning they were going to jump up. Can you jump up? They were going to place their hands on their hips, their nose in the air, and they were going to sing when the customers came in. And that's exactly what they did. At 8 in the morning, when the customers came in and started singing around the market like customers do, the sparkly, snobby pears put their hands on their hips. Can you do that? Their noses in the air. Can you do that? And they waited for the customers who came in. And when the customers came in, they sang just like this. They sang, "I've come to the fair to buy some fine pears." And the pears put their hands on their hips, noses in the air, and they sang, so buy me, I'm ripe, just your type." Well, the customer couldn't believe her ears. Did they really go to her like, "Whatever, get out of here"? She couldn't believe it. How rude. Who'd have thought pears would be so rude, and that pears could talk anyways? Strange. So she thought it must be her imagination, and she decided to try it again. And she sang to those pears who had their hands on their hips, their noses in the air. And she sang, "I've come to the fair to buy some fine pears." And the pears sang, "So buy me, I'm ripe, just your type." Well, the customer was just mortified. She couldn't believe it. She thought, what is this? What kind of pears would go to me? So then she thought she better teach them a lesson. She decided to whisper a very important secret to them, and that was that if they don't improve their attitude, that she wasn't going to buy them. No way! She was going to go buy other fruits and vegetables that were kind and very polite, not the ones that went, oh. So she whispered to them. She went like this. And the pears got very scared. They went, "Oh no, don't go." And she said, then try, and I might buy." And she gave them one last chance. And she sang to them, "I've come to the fair to buy some fine pears." But they didn't learn their lesson. They sang, so buy me, I'm ripe, just your type." Well, she couldn't believe it. We are going to add that dance to Sparkly Pear's favorite music as a review. And then we get to see her music map. Are you ready? Let's give it a try. So you get to choose whether you want to be Sparkly Pears, Snobby Pears, you know, snobby meaning that you think you're better than everybody else. Or you could be the lady from the market. Or you could do both parts. I think I'll probably end up doing both myself, whatever you like. Are you ready? And I can't wait because we get to do this to the Menuetto by Mozart, Sparkly's favorite song. Okay, let's do this. Hands on the hips or get ready to walk into the market. Your choice. Here we go. I've come to the fair to buy some fine pears. So buy me, I'm ripe, just your type. I've come to the fair to buy some fine pears. So buy me, I'm ripe, just your type. Oh no, don't go. Then try, and I might buy. I've come to the fair to buy some fine pears. So buy me, I'm ripe, just your type. Awesome job. Wow, you really remembered that dance well. Well, I hope you had a fun time doing the Sparkly Snobby Pear dance with me and Sparkly Pear. It was such a fun time. And I'm glad that you got to hear her favorite music, the Menuetto by Mozart. Now, if you would like to share this with family and friends, Sparkly thinks that would be a wonderful idea because then they too could learn the Snobby Pear dance. They probably wouldn't believe you that there is such thing as snobby pears. So you make sure that you share that with them and then they can see for themselves that she really does exist. Are you ready for some magic dust? I think we need some extra magic dust to make us sparkly like Snobby Pear and also give us some great manners. Not the but rather the please and the thank yous. Get your hands out. You know what's coming. Here it comes. Catch it. Rest it on your shoulders. That's one scoop. I'll give you 3. Perfect. Now that will make you very sparkly and very kind, and it will help you have a very magical day. Signing off.